isn't just about the past. It unfolds every day. In February, we honor the achievements of Black professionals who are shaping the future of fleet, trucking, and transportation. The trucking and transportation industries have long been built on resilience, innovation, and hard work. And today, Black fleet professionals are driving change, breaking barriers, and paving the way for future generations. This February, we're spotlighting the Black fleet professionals making history now, innovators, leaders, and changemakers whose impact is shaping the industry. I'm connecting with the Black Fleet Network to further this conversation and explore ways to amplify these voices and foster a more inclusive industry. The Black Fleet Network has been a driving force in opening doors for Black professionals in fleet management, automotive manufacturing, and transportation services. Their work is proof that progress is happening now, and it's time to celebrate, support, and share these stories. I'm excited to work towards shifting the narrative from Black and white history to full color, vibrant, dynamic, and ongoing. So, Exavious and Mushambi, thank you so much for joining me today.
Glad to be here, Lauren. Thank you for having us.
It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Where are you kind of hoping to see yourself grow, evolve, develop as the next few years come along?
Now you're asking us to divulge secrets, which is okay. We're 501c3. We have to be transparent. Here we go. We are moving toward, as we've teased out a couple of things during this conversation, really becoming the resource, right? Where it makes sense. We're not here to monopolize anything, and we don't want to recreate any wheels. But there are needs for certainly Black professionals, including those who are rising, right? Our younger people that are unique. Anybody who has read a book understands that, there are various learning styles. There are, variety of ways that people retain things and process things and, respond to things. Awareness of that has to be top of mind and top of practice. And, and if you want to push against that, try being a dad of a teenage daughter. And never bringing mom into the conversations, and so it's no different in the workplace for the education and training that our industry sorely needs. And as we're in the middle of the silver tsunami with a lot of institutional knowledge, headed out the door to retirement, in addition to other factors that are creating a violent technician shortage, that are emptying a lot of cubicles, et cetera, education and training is at the top of the list for BFN, and formalizing the access to that for both the hard skill sets of fleet management, but also those soft skills and the kind of para support for a professional in personal financial management. All right. I mean, how many people get in an industry like fleet, which is one of the few where you can go from 0 to 6-figure earners in 5 to 7 years or less? But did you get the education and support you needed to understand how to handle that so that you're not wasteful and that you are actually building a life? Because that is our ultimate concern, that people are able to build a life. So, that education and training, formalizing that is very much a critical part of our kind of 3 to 5 year roadmap, and doing it in an incredibly robust way that I don't think exists in the industry currently. In addition to creating, like we're talking about with the Clean Energy Task Force, hubs of resource for build outs that the fleet industry is still at its genesis with. Regardless of what's happening with politics and policy, sustainability needs will persist. And for those who are sincere about it, who have already invested handsomely in it, BFN is here and is going to be here to help you get to that best point B that you are seeking. in addition to continuing to build out our workforce development, channels and funnels for, certainly young people, but also the existing professional. We have, yes, our youth are paramount, and we want to, embrace them and train them and mold them into, moving toward the best version of themselves. Yet at the same time, they have mothers and fathers who are working hard to feed them and clothe them and house them and pay for their college educations, and take a vacation every now and then.
Yeah.
And there's still plenty of those men and women who need these incredible opportunities that the fleet management space provides.
Yeah. Zay, let me add two things real quick as well that I think are also at the heart of our plans. I think, to your point, just beyond just the resources, I think that BFN wants to be known as the network that produces and scales great Black businesses as well. And I think if I think of our Lunch and Learn series, our Extension Leadership Conference, we're trying to put together content opportunities that push good leadership end to end, from the soft skills to the things thinking about the future. Because we want the businesses to be stronger. And then that BFN stamp is not just associated with Blackness, but a certain extent of excellence as well. And then I think the second one, which is personal for me, or I'm a bit biased, is those tech-enabled businesses. I think that everyone that comes through our business, from the smallest to the largest, or rather through our network, is we want to make sure that we've helped them embed tech somehow, some way, to make them the superhero versions of themselves, and use tech as that kind of leapfrogger, as it were. And I think those are the two stamps that we want BFN to really proudly carry the next couple of years.
What do your current goals align with the more broader societal movements for equity today?
Number one, that movement is not solely relegated to the United States and the realities we have here. It is a big world full of, thousands and thousands of years of bringing it to where it is now from all peoples. And so when we talk about greater societal movement, I want us, especially as business leaders, to go ahead and see beyond our U.S. borders. Hence, Mushambi Mutuma being on this call, who resides and does business, in and beyond South Africa. Movements are necessitated by challenge most often, and that is subjective. There are powers that be, or wannabe powers that be, that are challenged by what somebody else thinks is very reasonable and just. That they say, oh no, it's not. And so what do you get? You get attention, and attention for the loud mouths who are behind those things. But then you have the silent movers who are actually looking to make a genuine impact, because that impact is necessary to somebody's livelihood, to somebody's ability to grow, to somebody's ability to have access. Our presence here is really to be that, a presence. I used the colloquial a little while ago of standing 10 toes down. We are here to be a pillar, because the winds will always change and shift and blow, especially the political ones, especially the policy ones. Even if it's two conservative administrations back to back, or two, progressive or Democratic administrations back to back, the policies are going to change from one to the next. People still have to eat. Children still need to learn. children still need to have, and people still need to have clean water to thrive. Technology still needs to be invented to solve problems, and to make life easier so we can spend more time with sand between our toes. And those things just don't change. And it is those things society is built on and looks forward to. BFN's movement, in large part, is to stay steady. And again, for people like us, this ain't new. This isn't new. I was reading this morning, part of the new political administration's goals are to push America toward colorblindness. Well, you're sitting here talking to two innovative gentlemen, Lauren. That phrase was being tossed around in the 80s. Being colorblind. And I'm gonna go ahead and double down for our religious conservative friends, which I'm gonna go ahead and just say this. Mushambi and I both come from religious conservative backgrounds and are leaders in the local church. So we're very serious about who's in control. Blindness has never been condoned of any sort. And like an elder black gentleman once wisely told me, if you're colorblind, that means you don't see me. And that problem, that reality is as old as the Mayflower, and predates it. And sadly, for those who have refused to lift off of that and to change their ways, because that onus is theirs. That's not on us, as the recipients of the historical oppression, suppression, and ridiculousness. That is not our onus. Our onus is to be responsible as men and women to push for our potential, take care of our families, and be a benefit to society. Yes, within our community and beyond. But for those who have refused that and who want to shut doors because of spinelessness, that's theirs to deal with. That's not ours. Our people have needs, and we are here to tend to those. But we are also historically and currently loving and good enough to share that with anybody who's well-meaning and is looking for progress.
So I think this kind of closes things out in a really interesting way. I want to talk about how our readers and our partners can really get involved, how they can support and help continue to make change happen in this industry. And I think part of that are conversations like these, not being afraid to have a difficult conversation, not thinking that you aren't a person who should be having these conversations. I am a white woman in our industry, and it was a difficult concept in the beginning to think I would be able to have this conversation and help tell this story. But it was that made me want to have this conversation and tell that story even more, was the fact that why was that a challenge? Shouldn't be uncomfortable. It should just be a story that I'm telling with anybody else. And I think it's those moments that we have to look at in ourselves, in our own world, in our own life, and ask a little bit more about why. So how can we continue to support? How can our readers, how can others step up and support Black Fleet Network, our industry, and our people better?
No, that's as well said as I can imagine. It's, number one, we want to recognize that we have incredible partners in the industry currently, which includes the truest of the SMBs, right? Those small, medium, businesses and their current grind to grow their enterprises, on up to the 1,000-pound gorillas, who the industry just couldn't do without. And that means everything because, those partners have really properly shown the definition of that from the day that they, in most cases, approached us genuinely to embark upon this journey with us. And I want to shout a few out, and forgive us if we miss a few, but that is J3 Management Group, Day One, Decatur, Georgia, Atlanta represent Stand Up. That's Asset Works. That's Movie V. It's Environmental Defense Fund. It is the city of Atlanta. People need to understand the city of Atlanta's fleet team. Nearly all of them are members of Black Fleet Network. Spearheaded by the truest and most tenured of fleet professionals, he's a fleet genius, Tim Fitzgerald, who's done incredible things, not just in the cities he's been in, but that have impacted, other parts of the world from people who, gained from his tutelage. And, Circle K is an incredible partner, Michelin Connected Fleet. I know I'm missing some, and forgive me because Lauren wants us to cut this off. But we have those partnerships, and I wanted to shout those companies out so that people understand, who we're dealing with and who wants to work with us, and push progress, which is, yes, about supporting the Black and African American professional and the Black and African American student, but to all of the poignant points that Mo has made on this call, to drive and further this business and this industry, which requires all of us, and all of us who have always been here, which includes the Black professional from the assembly line and manufacturing floors on up to the C-suite and board and entrepreneur seats in this industry that Black people occupy. So, we invite anyone who is well-meaning and well-intended to, as Lauren said, have what you think is the difficult conversation, but know for us, it's not a difficult conversation. And we're not here to be dramatic we're here to create solutions for people and for business. And we're thrilled to partner with those who are looking forward and truly trying to drive forward.
This month and every month, let's commit to recognizing and amplifying the contributions of Black professionals in the fleet and transportation sectors and beyond. We're not just celebrating history, we're witnessing it being made every single day. So let's take this opportunity to listen, learn, and contribute to the progress that is still very much needed. The journey's far from over, but with efforts like the Black Fleet Network, we're definitely moving in the right direction.